bergizi di mananya?
Gak perlu khawatir bun, risoya tentunya bergizi karena tempe itu rendah lemak, mengandung protein tinggi dan juga kalsium yang baik untuk tumbuh kembang anak.
Praktis. Nah, ini baru pas.
Makanya risoya pilihan ibu bijak.
Program ini didanai oleh CCSF, Central Community Service Fund dari Universitas Swiss German University untuk benar-benar memberikan kontribusi dan support kepada UMKM yang terkena dampak akibat COVID ini. Salah satunya hari ini adalah menyelenggarakan program pelatihan secara online yang sebelumnya sudah didahului dengan kegiatan pelatihan secara online. Yang hari ini kebetulan fokus untuk praktikum bagaimana membuat batik dan kemudian tentu memasarkan batik ini ke segmen market yang tepat.
Sebagai salah satu penggerak UMKM di Kota Tangerang Selatan dan pengurus dari DPC Masata Kota Tangerang Selatan, saat ini kami memberikan bimbingan kepada para pelaku usaha dari pendampingan Masata untuk memberikan pelajaran tentang teknologi batik dan pewarnaan. Kami optimis dalam memberikan pelatihan ini, para pelaku usaha pada masa pandemi ini bisa bergerak dan bisa melakukan aktivitas yang positif tidak mengurangi daripada penerapan protokol kesehatan.
Saya merasa diuntungkan sekali pada kesempatan ini saya mendapatkan banyaknya pengetahuan terkait dengan bagaimana proses suatu batikan.
Universiti Malaysia Sabah UMS dengan kerjasama Swiss German University SGU di Indonesia sedang menjalankan penyelidikan mengenai kaedah mengurangkan jangkitan penyakit tuberkulosis TB dalam usaha menangani peningkatan kritikal selain penularan penyakit TB di negeri ini. Kerjasama penyelidikan bernilai RM400,000 itu masing-masing mendapat pembiayaan grant sepadan UMS berjumlah RM200,000 dan RM200,000 daripada SGU bagi tempoh 2 tahun bermula tahun ini.
Menurut Pengarah Institut Penyelidikan Bioteknologi UMS, Dr. Zarina Amin, kerjasama ini hasil daripada pertemuan dalam Simposium Bioteknologi Antarabangsa Anjuran UMS tahun lalu.
Kami di UMS ada mempunyai makmal tahap 3 biokeselamatan tu kan, di mana kami boleh culture BSL-3 organisms yang macam TB tu dengan selamat. Inilah specialty of UMS. Kita sebenarnya perlu showcasekan yang UMS ni ada begitu banyak research facility dan research strength.
Beliau menyatakan perkara tersebut kepada pemerintah selepas Simposium Bioteknologi Antarabangsa kali ke-6 Anjuran UMS dengan kerjasama Asian Federation of Biotechnology di Kota Kinabalu. Sementara itu, Timbalan Pengarah Kajian SGU Jakarta Indonesia, Dr. Kholis Abdul Rahim memberitahu kerjasama antara kedua-dua pihak dalam projek ini melibatkan hasil bumi yang terdapat di Borneo seperti bakau yang berpotensi menjadi sumber perubatan.
So far, we are in the process of extracting as many as possible the mangrove extracts, and later on we will test or screen all those extracts towards tuberculosis and also as well as dengue viruses.
Mengenai
Udah pulang. Bunda lapar. Iya nak, Bunda masak bentar ya. Aduh. Aduh, masih kurang. Kurang apa ya?
Kelihatannya ribet banget, Bun.
Siapa kamu?
Nama saya Nyai Tumpi. Dan saya punya solusi buat Bunda. Risoya terbuat dari tempe fermentasi lanjutan dan rempah-rempah alami khas Indonesia. Pasti enak, Bun.
Instan begini? Emang bergizi di mananya?
Gak perlu khawatir, Bun. Risoya tentunya bergizi karena tempe itu rendah lemak, mengandung protein tinggi dan juga kalsium yang baik untuk tumbuh kembang anak.
Praktis. Nah, ini baru pas.
Makanya Risoya pilihan Ibu Bijak.
Fakultas Bisnis dan Komunikasi Universitas Swiss Jerman dan Masata DPC Tangsel menyelenggarakan program pendampingan dan pelatihan UMKM dalam masa pandemi COVID-19. Program ini didanai oleh CCSF, Central Community Service Fund dari Universitas Swiss Jerman University untuk benar-benar memberikan kontribusi dan support kepada UMKM yang terkena dampak akibat COVID ini.
Terima kasih Bu Fili sudah hadir.
Selamat siang semuanya.
Siang Bu Fili.
Salam sehat.
Tadi Bu Filinya ditunggu banyak orang.
Maaf ya, jadi agak telat dikit lagi tengah-tengah meeting.
Ya.
Sorry.
Oke, kita mulai saja ya. Ladies and gentlemen, Indonesia's national anthem, Indonesia Raya. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to especially greet Rector of Swiss German University, Dr. Ernat Filiana Santoso, Vice Rector for Academic Affairs, Dr. Irfan Setiadi Kartawirya, Vice Rector for Non-Academic Affairs, Mr. Anton Tondo, Head of SGU COVID-19 Response Team, and Director of SGU Academic Research and Community Service, Dr. Kholis Abdurrahim Audah, and all my beloved colleagues and students. Welcome to our talk show today with the topic of learning more about COVID-19 and how to prevent it. My name is David Simorangkir, and I will be your host today. Before we begin, I would like to invite Dr. Kholis Abdurrahim to lead us in the opening prayer.
Thank you, Pak Dev. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ba'd. Very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, respective Honorable Rector, Ibu Filis Diana Santoso, Vice Rector for Academic Affairs, Pak Irfan, and Vice Rector of General Affairs, Pak Anton, all respective colleagues, lecturers, staff, and all my beloved students. Alhamdulillah, today we gather here to pray for all of us in this very good moment. Please allow me to lead the prayer according to Islamic teaching and in Bahasa Indonesia. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Hamdan syakirin, hamdan na'imin, hamdan yuwafi ni'amahu wa yukafi'u mazidah. Allahumma salli ala sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Ya Allah, ya Tuhan kami, pada hari ini, siang hari ini kami berkumpul dalam rangka sharing session untuk mengenal lebih jauh lagi COVID-19 dan pencegahannya. Mudah-mudahan acara kami ini senantiasa Engkau berkahi, ya Allah, ya Tuhan kami. Ya Allah, ya Tuhan kami memohonkan ampun atas segala dosa dan kesalahan kami, ya Allah. Ya Allah, kami sadar dengan segala kekurangan yang kami miliki. Ya Allah, ya Tuhan kami, pada saat ini banyak keluarga kami, saudara-saudara kami, kolega kami yang sedang sakit, maka sembuhkanlah, ya Allah. Sembuhkanlah mereka semua dan juga lindungi kami semua dari wabah ini. Dan bagi mereka yang sudah meninggal dunia, terimalah semua amal ibadah dan ampunilah segala dosanya. Ya Allah, ya Tuhan kami, berikanlah kami terus kekuatan seluruh sivitas akademika untuk senantiasa mengabdi kepadamu, ya Allah. Untuk senantiasa berjuang, memperjuangkan apa yang kami mampu melalui Swiss German University. Ya Allah, ya Tuhan kami, berkahilah segala usaha kami di SGU, berikanlah kami kekuatan terus untuk bangkit dan berkembang sebagai sebuah institusi dan juga sebagai sebuah lembaga pendidikan tinggi yang pada akhirnya kami bisa memberikan kontribusi yang positif, yang maksimum kepada bangsa dan negara. Ya Allah, ya Tuhan kami, berikanlah seluruh sivitas akademika kami, para rektor dan wakil rektor, dosen-dosen, seluruh staf, dan juga siswa dan keluarganya semua, agar terus bisa berkarya, memberikan yang terbaik buat kampus dan juga bangsa ini ke depan. Ya Allah, ya Tuhan kami, terimalah semua amal perbuatan kami sebagai sebuah ibadah di sisimu. Ya Allah, ya Tuhan kami, perkenankanlah doa kami. Rabbana zalamna anfusana wa illam taghfir lana wa tarhamna lanakunanna minal khasirin. Rabbana ighfir lana wa liwalidayna warhamhum kama rabbana shighara. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina adzabannar. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Dr. Kholis, for the touching prayer. And now we will receive the opening remarks from Rector of Swiss German University. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Ernat Filiana Santoso.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you so much. So, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Shalom. Greetings to you all in peace. And also, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, Salam Kebajikan. Dear my colleagues in the university and especially my beloved students. Today we gather here, we can be very grateful that we are still healthy and can gather here today all of us, yeah, to attend this talk show. Well, let me share with you a bit about why we want to make this talk show again. Maybe you might be thinking, why a seminar, a talk show by SGU about COVID again? Don't we have enough talking about COVID? Yeah, we've been talking about it like almost 2 years, you know, and I've been receiving hoax messages, good information from all over sources. So I'm done with COVID. I sometimes also have that feeling. I have to be honest, yeah. The recent development of the COVID and especially the recent spike, yeah, the recent spike of COVID cases has struck us all in a I would say in a grief. Yeah, there are a lot of death cases. There are a lot of infected cases, and SGU is unfortunately not an exception. We experience grief among the SGU family, not only in the SGU colleagues, yeah, staff, lecturer, their families, but also students. There are numbers of students who must lost their parents, yeah, and other family members. So thank God, because of the measures, yeah, by the government, yes, the cases has gone down. Vaccination program is still ongoing. However, why we want to do this talk show again? We know that since we have been talking, listening about this COVID, how to prevent and all the things related to COVID so much, sometimes because of the long period, we tend to ignore, yeah. We tend to, because we have enough of it, so we tend to ignore. Maybe we are not so strict as in the beginning. Maybe we are, and there are a lot of recent knowledge, new knowledge that are now come in light. Yeah, we know everybody in this world are new to COVID. Yeah, COVID is new to all of us. So there are a lot of knowledge also evolving. So this forum, this initiative is being taken by our head, our chief of COVID-19 response team in SGU, my dear colleague, Dr. Collis, who wants to have this talk show again with you, students and colleagues, so that first, we are reminded about what to do and what not to do, so that our alertness is not going down. Second, you can ask anything related to the COVID development or virus development or vaccine development that you still have doubt. And with that, I hope that we all here can be an agent or source for correct information. That's why we are sitting here at the university. We have to be a true source of a correct source of information, yeah, and then so that we can educate others. So I hope with this today talk show, it's going to be not so serious. Yeah, everybody can feel free to ask and gain more knowledge so that we can educate others also and protect our family and ourselves also better. I really hope, let's continue. Let's not giving up the hope that COVID this one will pass too. Okay, without further ado, I wish you an insightful seminar, yeah, or talk show. Thank you very much. I give it back to Dave.
Thank you, Dr. Philly, for your encouraging words. I also hope that this event could be beneficial and informative for everybody, so that we also could pass it on to the ones in need. Okay. There is no denying that COVID-19 has become part of our lives. Since the outbreak, COVID-19 has spread like wildfire and quickly became a worldwide pandemic, affecting many sectors of our daily lives, causing people to experience from mild, moderate to serious illness and even death, depending on each individual's physique and condition when exposed to it. Today, we will discuss about many aspects of COVID-19 and how to prevent it. Our guest today is an expert in infectious diseases and microbial pathogen. Having acquired his bachelor's degree in IPB, studying biochemistry, his master's in the University of Malaya, studying molecular biology, his PhD in Auburn University in biochemistry, and his postdoctorals in Yale University School of Medicine in the field of infectious diseases and microbial pathogen. Ladies and gentlemen, let's all give a warm welcome to Head of SGU COVID-19 Response Team and Director of SGU Academic Research and Community Service, Dr. Holis Abdurrahim Audah.
Thank you very much, Pak Dev, for a very nice introduction to me.
You're very welcome, Pak.
Yes.
So, good afternoon, Dr. Holis, Pak
Good
Holis.
afternoon. Good afternoon, Pak Dev. Very good afternoon. Thank you very much for having me here.
Yes, it's our delight, of course, and it's very nice to see that you are well and healthy, Pak.
Thanks, you too, Pak Dev. Everybody else, yeah.
Yes, amen. Before we dive in too deep into our discussion, I believe that you have a short introduction to the COVID-19 response team from SGU,
Yes,
and
sure.
maybe a short report, yeah, Pak?
Yeah, sure, yeah. So definitely I'll need to share this with all of us here, because I think this is quite significant for you to know, especially students, and even more special for new students who might be here at this moment. So please allow me to share very briefly about what Team Respond COVID Resam is and who we are and what we do. Please allow me to share the screen, Pak Dev. Okay. All right. So let me just briefly introduce, inform all of us here that SGU has formed what's so-called SGU COVID-19 response team. It was established last year following the pandemic, the starting of the pandemic. I think somewhere in March 2020. So here we are. The COVID-19 response teams is actually formed through a decree of SGU rectors. And the current composition of the team is myself as the head, and also Ibu Esmeralda Melissa PhD. As a member, there is Ibu Susanti Basuki MA as a member, and also Pak Dev, our MC and moderator today, as a member. Ibu Suster Teti Aprilianti AMK as a member, and also Pak Wahyu Suryanto as a member. So this, well, there are some other member previously that had been not with us anymore, but these are the team that has been supporting the SGU response teams since very early on, that has eventually issuing a lot of protocols, procedures such as like this. So this is the scope of the work of the SGU team. So advocacy of, let me just, hold on. Maybe better here, like this, yeah? And everybody can see it better, probably, yeah? So this is the scope of the work of the team, advocacy of COVID-19 related issues on and off campus for SGU Activitas Academia. We issue protocols, forms, memos, SOPs in coordination or assistance with other departments such as Rector Office, of course, faculties, ST, FM, DIRCOM, and IRCS, and etc. So far, there are about 20 protocols, memo, and SOP had been issued by the team, responding the development of COVID-19 from the very first outbreak until now. And then we also provide emergency response in coordination with other parties, both internal and or external SGU. And also, please take a note for you guys, especially new students, that we have several SOPs for SGU Civitas Academia in doing several activities on and off campus. The first is, of course, a self-assessment for whoever wants to come to visit or to come to campus, for example. They must fill the self-assessment. But the very first time is actually you have to take a certification. Yeah, we have a certification program for everybody who has not taken yet. So before you do anything, you must take a certification program for COVID-19 protocols. There are some other forms such as self-assessment and then campus visit form, and also there is external activity request form. Excuse me. So these are the work that have been done by the team, and of course it's not limited to this only. We also always welcome everybody who wants to ask or contact us for anything, any need related to COVID-19. I think that's about it for introduction for the team. Hopefully anybody can reach us. Yeah, we have a number to contact or email, so please feel free to ask us any question or any assistance. That's for the introduction, Pak Dave.
Thank you so much, Pak. Thank you for the introduction and also the brief report on our team, COVID-19 response team from SGU. Okay, I'm pretty sure that everybody has knowledge about COVID-19, about coronavirus in here, whether it be some knowledge or maybe extended knowledge going to the details. But I think to make sure that everybody could comprehend in a well manner, Dr. Hollis, could you maybe we should start from the beginning of coronavirus, from the basics, so that is understandable for us all.
Okay, sure. So let me just again share the slide. Okay. Anybody can see the slide?
Yes, Pak.
My introduction today. So, well, the topic of today's session is actually sharing session Civitas Academica SU, Mengenal Lebih Jauh Virus Corona dan Cara Pencegahannya. Although the title is in Indonesia, but please accept my apology. My presentation is mixed, kind of mixed between English and Indonesian. So my explanation also will be both, yeah, English and Indonesian. I hope it's not a problem, Pak Dave. Yeah.
No problem, Pak. Could you please make the presentation in full screen, Pak?
Oh, yeah. All right. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Great, Pak.
So this is the outlines of my talk today. It will be a very brief talk about coronavirus. Yeah. Although many of you, maybe most of you already know the coronavirus, but I think there is no mistake to understand even more about the virus. And also, we also want to learn to tell you about the pathogenicity and transmissibility of the virus, and also the biosafety levels of the virus and handling, and how to respond to SARS-CoV-2, actually the virus causing COVID-19 disease, and also how to prevent of COVID-19 infection. Here, I'm not going to talk about vaccine, but I'm going to talk about the more practical things, how to prevent the infection. Okay. So here is maybe I'm sure you're quite familiar with the picture here. The right side is actually the spike of the spherical. Why it's called coronavirus? Yeah, it's because of the spherical shape of the virus. The red one is actually the spike, the protein part, and the gray one is actually the RNA, the mRNA part. So by definition, because we are in an academic setting, I think we need to know a little about the basic knowledge, the science about the virus. So the definition of coronavirus is any of a group of RNA viruses that cause a variety of disease in humans and other animals. So coronaviruses are a large family of viruses that cause illness ranging from the common cold to more severe disease such as Middle East Respiratory Syndrome, MERS-CoV, and severe acute respiratory syndrome, SARS-CoV. So at the beginning, it is 2019 nCoV is classified as a novel beta coronavirus belong to the SARS-CoV subgenus of Coronaviridae family. So a novel coronavirus is a new strain that has not been previously, in fact, identified in humans. So when it said never been previously identified, it doesn't mean it never exists before, okay? Because there is a so-called mutation, a so-called evolution of the virus, as well as any other organisms. In general, it's microbial pathogens. So this is again the illustration created by the CDC, reveals unstructural morphology exhibited by coronaviruses. Note that spikes that adorn the outer surface of the virus, which impart the look of a corona surrounding the variant when viewed electron microscopically. A novel coronavirus named Severe Acute Respiratory Syndrome, coronavirus 2 or SARS-CoV-2, was identified as the cause of an outbreak of respiratory illness first detected in Wuhan, China in 2019. So the illness caused by this virus has been named by WHO coronavirus 2019 or COVID-19. That is the name COVID-19 come from, okay? So again, this is the picture from microscope electron. Identify more the structure of the virus. Like other coronavirus, SARS-CoV-2 particles are spherical and have proteins called spikes protruding from their surface. These spikes latch onto human cells. Okay, when we talk about infection, okay, I will later in more detail. It means that the attachment of the virus into human. So there is the spike is responsible for this infection. Okay, so then undergo a structural change that allows the viral membrane to fuse with the cell membrane. The viral genes can then enter the host cell to be copied, producing more viruses. A recent work shows that, like the virus that caused the 2002 SARS outbreak, SARS-CoV-2 spikes bind to receptors on the human cell surface called angiotensin converting enzyme 2 or ACE2. So, please, this is important to keep in mind, yeah, the SARS-CoV-2 characteristic. Before this SARS-CoV emerged, we already know about there are 4 human coronavirus, including 229E, OC43, and L63, and HQU1 are prevalent and typically cause common cold symptoms in immunocompetent individuals. Okay, so this is no surprise. This is no something strange to us. Yeah, that there are coronavirus is there. Yeah, this also implicate to different things in, for example, in detection, PCR result, and so on and so forth. But of course, we are not going to go into detail this right now. So the genome sequence of 2019 CoV is about 89% identical to bat SARS-like CoV ZXC21 and 82% identical to human SARS-CoV-V. Okay. So mode of action. Yeah, the SARS-CoV, which caused SARS, has a unique pathogenesis because it causes both upper and lower respiratory tract infection. So it has been reported that 2019 nCoV uses the same cell entry receptor, ACE2, to infect humans as SARS-CoV. So clinical similarity between the two viruses could be expected, particularly in severe cases. So what I'm trying to say here is that the common symptoms, the symptoms of SARS-CoV-2 are very common. It will be mixed with other types of virus, even with so-called common flu. Okay, so that's why sometimes it's very hard to identify whether someone who has cough, cold, fever, certainly they get infected by SARS-CoV-2 or not. Okay, because it can be mixed with other disease. So notably, there are signs from what is still very limited data that the clinical features of 219 nCoV seem to be more variable. Okay, this is good news. A little bit good news for you first. When we talk about pathogenicity and transmissibility, okay, there are different types of categories, yeah, indicated by the rate, case fatality rate. Okay, if we look at here the 2019 nCoV, which is SARS-CoV-2, actually in terms of fatality rates only about 3%, which is until now being consistent. Yeah, the fatality rate of the SARS-CoV or COVID-19 is still in average about 3%. Well, of course, 3% seems very small, of course, but please keep in mind, Indonesia is a very big country, and most of the people concentrated in Java, Jakarta, and Jawa, Bali. Yeah, so it means that even only 3% of fatality rate, if let's say we have 200 million in Java alone, you can imagine how many fatalities in numbers, yeah, millions of people can get infected, and of course can get even leading to death. And the problem with us, of course, we know that we have a very limited facilities. Hospital, for example, there are only about 2,000 hospitals in Indonesia nowadays. You can imagine if, let's say, in entire Indonesia we have 2,000 hospitals, and one hospital can only occupy, like say, in average 500. It means only about what, 1 million, 1 million cases that we can be accommodated by the hospital. There is no surprise. Yeah, that's why in the last few months we've been struggling finding people who got infected, sick for any other disease, have the problem finding hospitals because all hospitals are fully occupied. So although the rate of fatality is quite low, 3% compared to others, yeah, but please again keep in mind we are struggling with facilities. So better stay healthy than get infection, okay, or any type of disease. Of course, again, if we compare COVID-19 with the SARS-CoV, SARS-CoV is about 10%, MERS-CoV is 40%, which is very high. Avian H7N9 2013 about 40%, H1N1 0.03%, H1N1 1918 3%, measles virus about 0.3%, rhinovirus is about less than 0.01%, Ebola virus, of course, everybody knows it, 70%, which is very deadly, and also HIV, 80% if it is not treated, yeah, without treatment, and smallpox virus 17%. This is just to give us a very brief picture, a big picture, a brief about where SARS-CoV or COVID-19 position among other severe viral disease. Yeah, but again, this number, yes, seems very less, 3% compared to 10%, 40%, of course, 70 and 80%. But again, we are having problem with facilities here in Indonesia. This is what makes difference between Indonesia and developed countries. Yeah. So when we talk about the severity of SARS-CoV-2, of course, we should talk about biosafety level and handling. Yeah. Of course, we've been talking this a lot, but I think there is no problem issue. We still can talk about this in more detail. That biosafety level of SARS-CoV-2, if we just don't want to do like PCR, yeah, we can do it in biosafety level 2. But if we want to, let's say, do some more vigorous research, we need to do it in biosafety level 3. This biosafety level for coronavirus SARS-CoV-2 I obtained from CDC. Yeah, so anyone wants to learn more about this, you can just talk to me. All right, so I will not talk to detail about this. What I want to emphasize more is how we should respond to SARS-CoV-2. Yeah, so as we talked about this before, that the level of severity of SARS-CoV is quite low compared to other disease. It means that the severity of SARS-CoV-2 will likely to be overcome by immunocompetent healthy individuals. Yeah, so I bold this, immunocompetent healthy individuals. What does it mean? It means that anybody who is healthy, yeah, has a normal immune system. If God forbid, of course, got infected by this virus, most likely it will overcome by itself. yeah, but the immune system will be able to overcome the virus. The problem is, of course, if, for example, again, God forbid, this virus infects someone who has comorbid, for example, hypertension, cardiovascular, yeah, or maybe heart disease or diabetes. That is the severe problem will come, yeah, because of the complication between the virus and also the comorbid. Okay, this what happened with many of our colleagues, our family that got infected and eventually passed away because of the severity of the COVID-19 double, even maybe triple, due to the comorbid. Okay. However, please do keep in mind that we should not underestimate the scale of the event, but at the same time, we also should not escalate the event out of proportion. What I'm trying to say here is that although the SARS-CoV, and you feel, guys, you are strong, you are young, and you can overcome, your immune system can overcome all these things, but please do not underestimate, because we really don't know ourselves, right? Yeah, not to mention about the virus. So that's why we have to step up or move up, lift the bar into at least one higher level. Yeah. So it makes us more caution about this situation. Yeah. So furthermore, from biosafety point of view, the action should always be taken a level higher than the magnitude of the danger. The least thing that can be done is by consistently minimizing the transmission of the disease as low as possible. The last part, the part that I want to elaborate even more, yeah, the least thing that can be done is by constantly minimizing the transmission of the disease as low as possible. How? Yeah, again, I'm not talking about vaccine, but I'm talking about how we respond this. Yeah. So this is further studies. Yeah. So I will just read the highlighted one. Why it is important to understand, to educate people about the SARS-CoV, yeah, is because educating the people is extremely important in strengthening public confidence, especially during current outbreak. This effort requires cooperation from whole society so that the outbreak can be contained and possibly eradicated. My idea is that to share with you, everybody here, yeah, even you are students, to educate people, yeah, because you are educated, highly educated, college students. Please help the government, help SGU, help the society to educate people. By how? By, of course, following all the protocols or the mechanisms, yeah, or the ways, the good practice in overcome or in preventing the spread of the disease, of the virus. Yeah. So here come to the last end of the my talk. How we prevent of COVID-19 infection. Yeah. Again, I would like to remind you that what I'm trying to share with you here is a very more common practice. Yeah, not talking about vaccine, drugs, because I think we will discuss that in another session if you like. But what we can do now as a society, as a human being, in order to prevent for ourselves and family, and of course to educate the society. First and foremost, of course, we have to keep ourselves clean. That is the basic things that we should do. Yeah, every one of us. Yeah, every one of us. You clean yourself, your hand, your face, your maybe nose, your throat, everything possible. We keep those clean. The second one is distancing. Wherever you are, outside of your house, distancing is a must. Yeah, even why I put this in order, because distancing is even more important than wearing masks actually. Yeah, distancing is crucial for us to avoid contamination, infection, transmission of the virus from one person to another. The next is, of course, wearing masks when you are outside or when you are inside and you get sick. Yeah, even though maybe you get cough, normal cough or cold. Yeah, I think it will be better for you to wear mask when you get sick. Yeah. The next is clean, disinfecting incoming goods, food, money, etc. It sounds terrible. It sounds so ridiculous. Why do we have to clean our money? Why do we have to clean our food? Why do we have to maybe recook, rebake, reheat our foods? Because nowadays more and more people order food from outside. Yeah, that's okay, that's fine. But make sure before you consume, you clean everything outside, and also it will be best if you, let's say, recook again or rebake again, reheat again, and so on and so forth, even with money. Yeah. Then try not to go out very often, going out only when necessary. And then stay home if you are not feeling well. Okay, this is a lesson from one of the most advanced country, developed country in the world. For example, in Finland, for example, I give you an example. Why people in Finland, they don't wear masks? Or for example, why people in United States or maybe any other country, why do they don't wear masks? Because they make sure they don't get infected. By how? Every individual of them get PCR tested. But of course, here is expensive, okay? But they can afford. That's why if you want to go out, make sure your health is healthy. You are healthy in a healthy condition. Yeah. If you really want to make again 100% sure, not 100%, maybe 99%, get yourself tested by PCR if you really want to go out without mask. But of course, I'm not recommending you here, but because not everybody understands this, of course. Yeah. And last but not least is avoid eating or drinking outside. Yeah. So I will give you some examples. This is just one examples of how we clean every vegetables, every fruits that coming into our house before we consume it. Yeah, the least we can use with water, or maybe even with soap. Yeah, no problem. Of course, you have to rinse it. Otherwise, your food, your fruits, your vegetables will taste like detergent, right? If you don't really clean it. Yeah. Even maybe this is something very uncommon, long time, but now it's become more common that you disinfect your money, because money you've been transferred, the money has been transferred from one places to another, has been transferred from one person to another, and it will be best if you try to disinfect the money before you put in your wallet. Yeah. Okay, I think by Dave, it will be enough for my presentation, and thank you for your attention. I'm welcome for any question. Thank you, Dave.
Yes, thank you so much, Dr. Hollis, for sharing such useful information with all of us. Now we will go to the Q&A session. So if anybody has a question for Dr. Hollis regarding our discussion and all the explanation that he just gave us, just raise your hand or write it in the comments, and then we'll ask them straight away to Dr. Hollis. Okay. So while waiting for the questions to come in, Pa Hollis, I would like to ask you something, if that's okay.
Sure.
But with more people getting vaccinated, and I believe that not only our country, but every country has a certain target that they try to achieve on vaccinating everybody. And every country is, of course, different. Some countries are faster than the others. How much do you think it affects the safetiness of going back to normal, of doing normal activities again? And do you think it is still it is still a requirement to use masks when, like, that target is already achieved by a country of vaccination?
Okay, thank you, Badif. Talking about vaccine, there is no straight answer, Badif, because it will be tested by time. Yeah, but of course, vaccine is one way to reach what so-called herd immunity, right? Although herd immunity can be also achieved by the individual strength in terms of rely on antibody, yeah, immune system. But of course, we hope that sometime, someday, yeah, by but again, we cannot just rely on or solely rely on the vaccination, because it's still very early stage of vaccination. There is only maybe less than 10% of vaccination, and the vaccine is also still being under monitoring, because it's still actually now still under what so-called phase 4 of clinical trial. Yeah, and again, we hope that maybe by the increase of people who got vaccinated, and also people who has built their immune system, it can speed up, accelerate what's so-called herd immunity. Yeah, but I cannot answer straight how long. Yeah, but it really depends on many factors. Yeah, and also it depends on the efficiency of the vaccine used by people, because we know that different countries use different vaccine type of vaccine. But of course, because it's still only, I believe we started vaccinated in March, so it's only 6 or maybe 5 months. It's still very early to tell and how fast the herd immunity can be achieved by vaccination, because we can only talk about vaccination, how important or how effective or efficient, until maybe at least reach 50% of society that had been vaccinated.
True, true. And another thing that I would like to know, Dr. Hollis, you know that there has been mutations already going on with the COVID-19 virus, and one of them is the Delta, the one that is said to be much more contagious, and it spreads through the air and all of that, and among other mutations that we've heard about in the news, right? How much do you think is it it's gonna mutate before it actually stops or it ends? Is there a sure way to know, Pak?
There is no sure way to know, yeah, unless we stop the spreading. That is the reason why isolation, quarantine, or lockdown is extremely important, especially at the very early stage of the spread of the virus. Because if the virus keeps spreading from one person to another, of course, every individual has different response. That is the way how the virus escape from the immune system, by mutating themselves. So if the virus keeps spreading from one person to another, it means that until everybody get infected, then it will stop at that point. But until now, no one for sure when the mutation can be stopped. And one also important information that I just learned a few days ago is that variant Lambda can escape the vaccination. Yeah, so that is also an alarming situation. That what I meant by that, we cannot rely on vaccination, solely rely on vaccination. And also vaccination is not for everybody. As we know that when we got vaccinated, there are a list of disease comorbid that need to be checked. Even only one checked by the person, there should ask for doctor advice whether she or he can get vaccinated or not. Yeah, but of course for healthy individuals, yeah, I would encourage them to vaccinate it. Yeah, but not to those who has comorbid, because for example, one of our colleague also actually just recently vaccinated, but he has a very severe comorbid. That is the reason why this vaccination is not working. Yeah, but again, vaccination is one way to achieve herd immunity, that's for sure. But we should not solely rely on the vaccination.
So it all comes back to the importance of the protocols of health protocols that we should abide to on a daily basis, right, Pak?
Exactly, the one just I presented. That's why. Yeah. That's why I really want to emphasize everyone of all of us here, to practice as best as possible the one that I mentioned. It seems, it sounds very ridiculous. Washing our money, our fruits, and everything is a tedious work, but that is the best way we can do to prevent. Because I've been working with this microbial pathogens maybe more than 20 years. So whenever I work in the lab, I tried my best to not contaminate our culture, for example. But these microbial pathogens always find a way to infect or contaminate everything. So that's why from that experience, even long time before this COVID-19 break, I always mention, I never touch any more leaf, for example, by my hand. I always use keys or pen, maybe with whatever I have, or tissue, yeah, in the public area, or door handle, for example. I always use tissue. That is just the way how I was, well, not raised, but trained how to deal with these microbial pathogens. That's why I insist to have this sharing session. I really want to share with everybody of you here how and my experience in the last maybe 20 years or so dealing with this microbial pathogen.
Yes. Thank you, Pa, for the answer. I believe that we still have some time, and there are a couple of questions from the students, Pa. The first one is from Vincent Satya Surya. Vincent, maybe you would like to ask the question yourself. Could we give the spotlight to Vincent, please?
I cannot, sir. Sorry.
Oh, you cannot turn on the video?
Yes.
Just speak. You can speak.
That's okay. That's okay. Go ahead. You can ask straight away.
Okay, I want to ask about the international internship, sir. Can you advise us on the readiness of our internship in the next year regarding to Germany, and also is there any regulation regarding to COVID-19 itself, especially for type of vaccine, COVID-19 tests, etc.
Okay, thank you. Hopefully I can answer this, although maybe not very comprehensive, because but to my understanding and my experience, developed countries are much more ready than us. So I think you should not have too much big problem when you want to do internship outside, because for example, my daughter just left Indonesia last week, August 10th, to one of European countries. She has not been vaccinated, but of course, once you get there, they already have any single protocol in place. So you should just have followed the instruction and you will be good, I think. Yeah. Because we also have some students who are not coming back yet, doing internship in Germany and also Switzerland. I think they're doing just fine. Yeah.
Okay, Vincent, does that answer your question?
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. For the next one, we have Elang Segara. Elang?
Oh, yes, sir.
Hi, go ahead, shoot your answer.
Okay, so for good afternoon, Mr. Dr. Kalis Auda. I would like to ask you questions, which is maybe more than one, sir, if that's okay. So my first question is that it is said that the country has achieved the herd immunity if 80% of the country's population is already vaccinated. Does that mean that if we have achieved the herd immunity, does that mean that we can stop doing the health protocols that we have done for about 2 years later? About 2 years, or should we still do the health protocols, sir? And then, and another question. We are told that we should be vaccinated 2 times. With the second one is 2 weeks after the first one, and 3 times for health workers. I wonder why, if I may know, why we should be vaccinated 2 or 3 times, and we don't do the vaccination only once, sir. Thank you for your attention, sir.
Okay, thank you. So regarding the herd immunity one, of course, it really depends on the development. Please keep in mind that this virus is new. Okay, everybody is learning all the viruses. We don't know how far this virus go. Usually, the virus will disappear by itself. For example, SARS, for example, will disappear within 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, it will disappear. So the time will tell. How long, we don't know. Second, regarding the herd immunity, of course, if let's say 80% of the vaccinated population get vaccination, and please note, the vaccine is powerful, yeah, it's useful, the effectiveness is good, as good as we expected, as we want, of course, yeah. We can eventually go back to normal, yeah, but again, it is too early to tell up to now, yeah, we don't know yet, yeah. But again, we hope, let's hope that this herd immunity can be achieved by first vaccination, and of course healthy individuals like you, yeah, because that is also not less important, yeah. So I think the herd immunity, actually the best way herd immunity is by the healthy individuals, yeah. Because the vaccine, we don't know yet about the vaccine so far, but of course vaccine is one way to achieve that, yeah. But again, because since it is only 5 months, 6 months, usually the normal length of vaccination and how to make sure is usually 4 to 5 years, yeah. So the time will tell, yeah. Hopefully it will work as we expected, and we can get herd immunity, some, not most or not all, part by vaccination, and also of course by healthy individuals like you guys, yeah. The second one about 2-3 times vaccination, it really depends again why health workers need to get 3 times. You know, health workers, they expose every single day to the virus, yeah. Not only the old virus, the new virus, they have to take care, they have to face it, yeah. They cannot escape, yeah, they cannot run from their duty. That's why they need to boost themselves with maybe second, third, yeah, even maybe fourth in the future. But for us who are not facing the patient individual, yeah, every single day, we just need the minimum, let's say 1 or 2 twice. It really depends on the type of the vaccine. Most vaccine nowadays need 2 times vaccination, 2 doses. Johnson & Johnson only take 1 dose. Why? Because in terms, this has been done to boost the immune system and make sure that the immune system really built in ourselves, yeah. Let's say if only once, maybe not completely boosted, yeah, the immune system, so that is why we take twice to get vaccination, yeah. So maybe it really also depends on the dose, but we cannot also do 1 dose at the time, let's say double the dose at the same time, because our immune system might not be able to comprehend, yeah. In fact, we can get sick, yeah, if we can just boost double at the same time. That's why we need to gradually boost our immune system, yeah. Hope I can answer your question.
Thank you, Alan, for the question. Wow, that just added some knowledge about vaccines for me. I believe that everybody has so many questions about vaccines and how safe it is and how many do you need and all of that stuff. Does anybody have any other questions for Dr. Hollis? Okay, I don't see any more questions.
Okay, Pak Dev.
Oh yes.
Can I ask?
Yes, of course.
Yeah. So, Pak Hollis, good afternoon. I want to ask, what is the health protocol for us who wants to do sport outside? For example, like jogging or like riding a bike. Is it safe? Is it still safe to do so, like to jog or to ride a bike by alone, so not in a group, and still wearing mask, and do not stop anywhere, so from home go outside and then go back home again? Thank you.
Thank you.
That's a very good question.
Is it Bubahda?
Yes, I believe it's Ibu Mahda.
Yes, it's me, Pak.
Sorry, I cannot see you. So
It's okay.
very good question. Yeah, very good question. I think this is everybody's question. Yeah, is it safe for us to go outside exercising? Yeah, I think it should be safe if, for example, the time, let's say, there is no crowd. Yeah, early in the morning. Yeah, to go out jogging. But of course, I would always recommend wearing mask. Yeah, instead of open your mask. I know it is not easy to exercise, riding a bike or jogging by wearing mask, but I think at this moment, at this point of time, it's still necessary to wear mask. Yeah. But again, choose the time, for example, early in the morning when there is the air is still very clear. Yeah, there is not too many vehicles, not too many people around. I think it will be the best time for us to exercise. Yeah, but sometimes, of course, if it is too early, I think, especially weekend, we are still too lazy to get up of the bed. Okay, Bu, I hope I can answer your question, Bu.
Thank you very much, Pak Kolis. Pak Dev, thank you.
Thank you, Bu. Dr. Kolis, how about indoor sports? Is it
Indoor
not
sport.
advised at all?
No, indoor sport is good. Yeah, I would recommend actually, in fact, indoor sport. Yeah, but of course, if you can get sunlight, that will be the best. Yeah, indoor sport is okay. Yeah, maybe you can just open the window. Yeah, with air. Yeah, it will be good. Yeah, it will be good indoor sport. Yeah,
But not if it's crowded, right?
no, if it is not, if it is crowded, with other people outside of our household. Yeah, house. It's not recommended. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, even worse. Yeah, even worse, Pak Dev. Kalau dengan ada
Yeah.
orang lain.
Yeah, because you know the gyms are going back to are opening up again.
Oh, okay. I would not recommend that. Yeah, I would not recommend that.
Okay, Pak. Very clear.
Yeah.
Okay.
Please don't don't get me wrong. Yeah, I'm talking about vaccination. Yes, it is good to get vaccinated. Yeah, but the problem is we never know what is outside and what is the impact, the efficiency of the vaccine. If, for example, God forbid, we get something else, the Lambda, the Delta, and others. Yeah, that is a problem because, as we all know, that the vaccine which is developed now, which is being used now, the culture, the strain is using the old strain, the old variant of vaccine. Yeah, that is a problem. That is what happened with dengue virus. Why until now dengue virus doesn't have any vaccine? Because there are different types of variant of vaccine. That is why it's good to get vaccinated, but please don't solely rely on the vaccination. Yeah, because we never know what is outside. Yeah, that is the bottom line. Okay, so I hope that you guys don't misunderstood about vaccination. Yeah, that's why at this moment, yeah, we still not know about the development of the virus until when they will mutate, develop. Yeah, hopefully they will mutate, and at the end they will weaken. Yeah, not the opposite. Yeah, because what happened usually. The problem is that if the virus keep transmitting from one person to another person, that is the issues. Yeah, the virus can still mutate. Let's say if there is no transmission, it might be mutated to the weakened version rather than the strongest person. Why? Because if it is transmitted into the new person, then the virus will try to escape that person's immune system, different from the previous one. Okay, that is the scientific behind this. Yeah. Okay, Pak Dev.
So that's actually how the virus mutates. It's when they undergo somebody's body, they fight their immune system, and the virus becomes stronger if they survive, right?
Yes, yes.
And most possibly they mutate and then they go to another victim.
Yes. That's why we need quarantine. Yeah, we need to isolate ourselves. That is the whole purpose. Okay, when we learn about infectious disease transmission, how to avoid it, there is a step, SOP, the first isolation. Yeah, we isolate the area. Yeah, we isolate, we quarantine the person, we disinfect the person, and close any contact from outside. Yeah, yeah. In the worst cases, in the worst scenario, If you ever heard about, maybe you watch about the movies, why in a very extreme condition, a government tried to bomb an area which is infected. Please think about that. That is the worst scenario. Yeah. Thanks God, this virus is not as deadly as Ebola. Yeah. If it is, then the scenario will be different. Yeah. So we still keep being grateful, thankful to God the Almighty. Yeah.
So we always gotta think positively, apa ya?
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody wants to ask any questions before we go on to the next session? Okay. If nobody has any questions, I think it is our time to have a photo session for documentation.
Sure. Yeah.
So I have Katablik on the other side. If you would be so kind to give us the heads up of when the photo is going to be taken. Or should I count?
Okay, wait.
Okay.
If we have 4 pages here.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Okay, I'll open my video first.
Okay, could everybody please open your cameras?
Okay. Okay, page number 1. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And then page number 2. Ready? 1, 2, 3. And page number 3. 1, 2, and 3. And last page is number 4. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, Pak Dev, finish.
Thank you so much, Brother Tablik. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our event for today. We hope that this event has been useful and helpful for you. On behalf of COVID-19 response team, we would like to express our gratitude to all of you for attending this informative event. Don't forget to smile, don't forget to happy, so that your immune system goes up. We wish you nothing but good health, and may we all have the strength to face these hard and uncertain times. Remember that we are not alone and that we will overcome this together. Stay safe, stay healthy, and enjoy your day. Goodbye and see you next time.
Thank you very much, Pak Dev. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, COVID response team.
Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Dr.
you,
Hollis. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Be happy, healthy.
Semua. Terima kasih, Pak Dev.